The Delta State government is yet to receive the money returned by the UK government. The Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, confirmed that the £4.2 million has not yet been returned to Delta State, contrary to his earlier claim. For more on this developing story, we are now joined by Olisa Ifejika, Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Delta State. So Olisa, please tell me, the Accountant General of the Federation previously said that the money had come back. Now he's saying that Delta State doesn't have the money. Tell me, why is this? What's going on here?
Well, thank you very much, my brother. It is clear when the issue of the money first hit the newsstands that it was being returned to Nigeria from the UK, we were happy. And even the United Nations, the United Kingdom that was returning it, knew it was Delta State's money. So initially, you remember that the Attorney General said the money was federal government. They were going to deploy the way they wanted then. But we made a subtle presentation to the government that it is Delta State government money and they should do the right thing to give it to us. It's like a father recovering what belongs to a child. You naturally will give it to that child, having recovered it. And that was our contention. And we went further to do a formal presentation by asking the federal government if he must not give it to us as cash. We gave options of roads, projects they should come and do in Delta. Because it was so funny that government was saying they were going to use that money to do the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and some other projects that had no bearing with Delta. And we saw it as not too good. And when we heard on Monday that the money had been paid to Delta, we were happy. But when we went through our books, checked the accounts for about 24 hours, found that the money wasn't there. We had to come and tell Nigerians that money was in our kitty. It didn't hit our coffers. And we were surprised the following day the Accountant General now agreed that he never said so. And it is funny, it's for Nigerians to know what we're going through. We're still hoping that they will send the money to us. And as soon as that is done, we will acknowledge it and tell the world that we have received it. For now, the money hasn't come.
Well, a lot of Nigerians are waiting for the news, and I'm sure Delta State citizens will be happy to get the money. But you mentioned projects that the federal government had mentioned they were going to use this money for, and there's been a lot of back and forth. But some skeptics and critics, including the major opposition party in Delta State, the APC, have expressed fears that this monies might be doing a round trip or be re-looted. How do you respond to such critics? And are there projects that the Delta State government have outlined for these monies should it eventually come?
Yes, if for 6 years now, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa has been on the saddle and he's never been accused of mismanaging the funds of the state, he's been very prudent and accountable in all he has been doing. I don't see why this money will be a different thing entirely. It's like managing the resources of the state the way he's been doing it from 2015 to date. So the money being returned will be different. I expect that Deltans will still have the confidence that they've always had in him and his administration to deliver with whatever funds that are available. Like I said, when we learned that the federal government was saying that money will be used by them and on projects outside Delta, we felt that wasn't fair enough. And to show that the state government is not too eager to manage the funds, some projects in Delta, including their own projects, like the Benin, Wari, towards the East-West Road, is still the federal government program. So many other projects of Delta State government, federal government that are here, that are dilapidated, and the government said, if you must not do those ones, come and do your own projects in Delta. But we have our own projects that if the money had come, we would deploy the money to. If you don't want to give us the cash, please do well to deploy the funds to these projects. And those projects, one is the Asaba Ugeli dualization. It's on. It's a very audacious project, big, that has been there, and it's in 3 phases, phases 1, 2, and 3. And the government said, please come and put the money in that one. We're doing the erosion control project in Warri and Ifun axis in phases 2. That one is going to take a lot of money, and government suggested these projects to the federal government. If you don't want us to handle the cash, please come and do these projects for us. So the issue of mismanaging or round-tripping the money is not there at all, because the governor himself has been managing the resources of the state all along, and there's been no problem at all. We still have confidence in his managerial ability, in his transparency and accountability, and the Deltans are sure that if the money had come to him straight, and we hope it does come, it will be properly managed. No doubt about that.
Okay, speaking of transparency and accountability and having confidence in the system, what can be done, and in terms of looking at a moral from this story so far, what can be done to ensure that what happened on this case, where a criminal was allowed to go free by our judicial system and then had to be convicted outside our shores, does not happen again, where people give the impression that our judicial system is up for sale?
Well, I am not a lawyer, and I'm not I'm not in charge of the judiciary arm of government. But I know that even the judiciary arm, they are human beings. They know. People have been talking about, like we talk about the police force, the corruption in there. They too in the judiciary, they know. If they have been lampooned to have had a miscarriage of justice at those times, I'm sure they've learned their lessons, because it speaks volumes that what they couldn't do here, it was done outside. That is, I'm sure there are lessons learned here already, that if any case like that occurs, not just in Delta, anywhere across the country, they will know what to do. But I assure you that in Delta State, there won't be any trace of that. There won't be any matter like that. Because what we have now as government, headed by Senator Dr. Ifejika Okowa, is a wonderful one. Everybody knows, who can attest to it. He's been acknowledged to be a good manager of men and resources. And the confidence of Deltas in him is unshakable, the way you manage our affairs.
So please tell us, because I'm sure everyone in Delta State, as well as everyone across Nigeria, wants to know, when will this money get back to Nigerian shores?
Well, in Delta, we wish if it was done yesterday. We hope that it will be done soon. We want it back so that we can deploy it to projects that will enhance the livelihood of Deltans. We don't know. It's only federal government that can tell us how soon it can come. But you remember, at some point, when it became contentious, when the Attorney General of the Federation said the money had come. The money had come, he said so. So the issue of when to get it to Delta was the matter. So when the Accountant General said the money had been paid to Delta, we were surprised initially to say, oh, they paid, we didn't know. Only to find out it wasn't there at all. So whether it has come from UK is a different matter, because that's what they told Nigerians earlier, that the money had come from United Kingdom to federal coffers. What we are waiting for is for the thing to come. So I hear that the same Accountant General is saying that the money hadn't even come. So we don't even know who to believe or what to believe anymore. So we're waiting, hoping that the money will come, and when it comes, the needful will be done. And that needful is to send it, give it to Delta State that it really belongs to.
And should it not come to Delta State, what next?
Well, we'll leave that for time. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it.
And before we let you go, can I just ask you about the security situation in Delta State? There have been repeated attacks on police divisional headquarters in Ukwani local government seems to be the latest. What more can you tell us? What's going on?
Well, the insecurity thing is nationwide. You don't know where they will hit next. So much that the government is doing what it can. The security apparatus in this country is not within the control of the governors of states. It's a federal thing, and we are aware too that the police, as a matter of fact, is overwhelmed already. So the state governments are trying to do the much they can to support the federal agencies. In Delta, we have what we call Operation Delta Hawk. It's an amalgam of the federal forces and our vigilante group that the governor put together to see how they can support the mainstream police force to
Okay,
to see how the state can be secured. And since the inception of that, it's been wonderful. These cases you have of late, the 2 places that they've attacked, well, you can be sure that you really cannot police everywhere effectively, but the government is on top of the matter.
Okay, Olisa Ifejika, thank you so much for giving us your time and giving us the update on the situation there. We look forward to hearing that the loot has eventually returned to Delta State.